Be it a weekday, a weekend, an evening, or an afternoon like this, you are able to come up to your rooftop to escape for a dip in the infinity pool. So welcome to the Coastline, where you're at the rooftop terrace and enjoying two types of view. One, you have the sea view as well as the unblocked view to my left. Well, this is a freehold property situated in District 15 Amber Road prime area, and you're only minutes to Tanjong Katong MRT station, which is the new Thomson East Coast Line, and it's only just 2 minutes walk and you can reach there for your convenience. Let's check out more details of what this development is all about. In the Coastline, there's actually total 144 units, and out of them, 54 units are the 2+ study units, and they are all considered the dumbbell configurations. And why is dumbbell configuration great? Because they actually save a lot of space. So there are actually 2 unit types in the 2+ study configuration in Coastline, and about 18 units are having the dumbbell with enclosed kitchen, and the rest we are getting an open concept kitchen. Maybe you're wondering, an open concept kitchen may not be as good as an enclosed one. So the unit that we're going to share with you later on, and you're going to see it for yourself, how spacious it is in terms of the dining, the living, as well as the TV console area. Because only the 2+ study 710 square feet unit, you have a longer living space area where you can put in even a 3-seater or even 4-seater couch sofa in your living room. So let us check it out in a short while. So we're at the Coastline. This is a 2-bed 2-bath unit which is 710 square feet. So one of the unique points is that you can actually follow me and see that when you come in, there is actually a study area where you can actually make use of, whether it be a storeroom, or you can actually put in a small study area where you have privacy among your master room and your common area. So let's just shift ourselves to see this open kitchen. Why am I sharing with you this open kitchen? Because one of the key aspects for a dumbbell unit, which is this unit, you get this open kitchen so that overall space, you get it to be wider. So one of the key things is that this is an L-shaped configuration for an open kitchen, and you get the induction cooker as well as the oven, and these are all the Smack brands. As you can see, they are all very nicely tucked in and with a very classic brown color tone towards this design. It gives you a very, I would say, a service apartment concept, right? So we have everything here that you have seen, and also including the integrated fridge. So everything that you have want for in a property has all been already provided. And this unit, being a 710 square feet, I will actually share with you that one of the key things is that today, because of the open concept, you have an additional space here where you can actually fit in a dining. Okay, you can fit in a dining area. So this is actually very important. Why? Because a lot of the 2-bed 2-bath right now that you see, they do not have such a wide area where you can put in a dining. And this dining space, if you can take a look, you can actually fit in maybe even a 6-seater if you want to, or perhaps if it's only the 2 of you here, you can actually do it in a very cozy concept of a 2-seater. Alright, so I want to share with you a little bit more in terms of the other areas of this property. Let's take a look at the common room, and being a 2-bed 2-bath configuration, this common room is very sizable because why? You can fit in actually a queen bed. Alright, as per some of the new guidelines for a lot of the new properties, if you are no longer getting a queen bed, then you are in trouble. Alright, so with this, you can actually take a look at the whole view of the whole panel. So this property, the uniqueness about Coastline is that you can see that the window panel is not the usual casement. Alright, it's actually an open pull-out. And what does this mean? Meaning that even if there's any rain, of course we are sheltered with the above, right? The rain will not actually come in, and it allows what? Wind ventilation. Alright, so of course there's a little bit smaller things that you need to take note because of this kind of window. They are usually very heavy. And of course there's a security. It also functions as a noise block for a lot of the other areas of this property. So one of the key things that you want to take note of is also that today you are not only getting a small wardrobe, you actually are getting a 2-door sliding full height wardrobe. And with the appliance equipments, everything already installed, you can see that the black color and the wooden color gives you a very classic and modern feel that you can actually keep this design for a long time. Alright, so I think this is one of the main concepts where the developers have actually chosen this so that your development can actually long last in terms of time. Alright, so this is a very nicely done up areas. And why a full height wardrobe is important, because you get to actually use up the space on top where you can put in your blankets, maybe even your pillows or even your luggages at the same time. Alright, let's check out the other room at the same time right now. Alright, being a 2-bed 2-bath, of course, most importantly, you also want to take a look at the common toilet. Alright, so take a look at the common toilet and you will be able to actually function it very nicely, because this toilet actually has a very nice feel to it. And I believe that if you're staying in Coastline, where this is in District 15 and Amber Road area, you want to come back to a luxury area to stay in so that you can calm yourself down among the busyness of the urban city and come back to a home where you can enjoy and relax over time. Now let's take a look at the master room. So the configuration for a 2-bed 2-bath dumbbell unit is very interesting, because you get to have the space that you want even for the master room, and most importantly, you are getting a full height window. Can you check out the view here? So this is the $1 million view that everybody is talking about when they are buying Coastline, and because of this, we are getting the worth of money. And I always call this a $1 million view. Why? Because even if sometimes you got money, you can't even buy them at the same time. So a very nicely squarish configuration, full height window, very bright. So we have already curtains layout for you as well, and you have a full height wardrobe space at the same time. So everything has really been darked out for you. Even the aircon, the curtains, the lightings, everything has been done out. And what do you need to do? You just have to bring your luggage and move in immediately. So the key small little details that I really prefer about Coastlines, and they have taken all the small little touches, is that you can see that the color scheme across the board, from the flooring to the switches, even to the color of your wardrobes, everything has been very well thought of to give you the luxury element that, hey, this is a premium property. So of course, when you come into the master room, you have the attached toilet. So if today you have been to units with a 2-bed 2-bath, and when you went in, you are getting a giant balcony, a massive balcony size, you no need to worry that it Coastline. Why? Because this is actually a very sizable 2-seater, or even you can put in 3-seater, where you can relax over coffee, tea, or even macarons in the evening, because you're getting a view just like this. Alright, you can see this is a totally unblocked approach, and all the buildings are very far away from you at the same time. So today you can see that where we are right now, here is a landed view. Alright, this is a totally unblocked landed view, and all the way there you are able to see, where is this? The Kallang Sports Hub. So even when during the festive season or even concerts, you may be able to get fireworks coming out, and you can enjoy it at the comfort of your home and your balcony. So moving forward, if you can see this whole open area, we are having what? We are having the Thomson East Coast Line. The Thomson East Coast Line has already started, so you are able to very conveniently just walk through from here to the MRT site, and at the same time behind Amber Sky. Okay, behind Amber Sky. Right, that's also another entrance where you do not need to cross the road to actually enter to the Thomson East Coast Line MRT. Okay, so this is a very convenient certain locations, because you can see a wide area where we are enjoying a massive, we are talking about a massive area of an unblocked view, and I call this a $1 million view. And what's added on to this $1 million view, check out my behind, where you also get sea view. Alright, this sea view, although it's a pocket view, alright, I cannot deny that, but at the same time, you can actually enjoy this kind of view at the comfort of your balcony. So don't stop here, because if you like sea view and you do not need to pay a huge sum for the sea view, later on I'm going to give you a huge surprise later on as we go up to the rooftop. Alright, so let's continue checking out the whole unit and see what's in store for you. Okay, let's check out the rest of the unit. And as we're coming in from the balcony, of course, you're getting the living hall area as well as the TV console area. So this area is also very nicely spaced out, if you can see here. So even if you are doing a 2-seater or even a 3-seater space, I think we have more than enough area with a 1.8 to even 2 meters TV console where you can house your 65-inch TV very easily. But what's most important is, as you are actually looking here, sitting here in the sofa, you get to see the wide view very nicely. I think this is what staying in a Amber Park area, District 15, the premiumness of this location, the convenience of the MRT, as well as a total unblocked view that you get to enjoy every single day is all about. Right, so if you find that this unit is suitable for your living lifestyle and you want to be part of this premium in District 15 in Amber Road area, this Coastline is for you. Offer 2-bed, 2-bath unit at 710 square feet at a very attractive price. Right, so besides taking a tour of the actual unit itself, later on we're going to go surrounding to take a look at the amenities, the facilities, as well as a surprise going on at the rooftop that I'm going to show you and bring you to. Well, on the rooftop, you also get to enjoy this private dining pavilion that is for you and your friends when you want to enjoy a celebration or a party. At the same time, you get to enjoy also the unblocked view as well as a very unique element, which is the infinity pool while your friends are swimming and they get to enjoy it at the same time. Alright, so we're in the open rooftop area where you actually have the luxury of 2 things. One, you get the infinity pool overlooking the landed, as well as the unblocked view of the sports hub where fireworks, if you want to see Katy Perry's, maybe even the music when they're coming in, you know, and you are able to see Taylor Swift when they have it. And the second view that you are getting is definitely the sea view. So this rooftop area is really built for luxury, and you can see the relaxed mode every single time when you are here, not just to see the unblocked through the landed view, you're able to see the sea view and a lounge area where you can enjoy it with your friends and over drinks, and also at the same time the infinity pool. The infinity pool where you can just like MBS, so you do not need to travel down to MBS, but you can get to enjoy with your booze as well as with your friends, having music, having fun at the ease of your own rooftop terrace. So welcome to the Coastline, where you're at the rooftop terrace and enjoying 2 types of view. One, you have the sea view as well as the unblocked view to my left. Well, this is a freehold property situated in District 15 Amber Road prime area, and you're only minutes to Tanjong Katong MRT station, which is the new Thomson East Coast Line, and it's only just 2 minutes walk and you can reach there for your convenience. Let's check out more details of what this development is all about. You'll be wondering, oh, we are in an Amber area, are there any amenities that we can actually do grocery shopping and all? Well, besides all the other smaller ones that may be available in Tanjong Katong, I can share with you the most popular one is definitely Parkway Parade. And we are talking about more than 250 retail outlets, restaurants, and even cinemas there that you can actually do your grocery shopping with all the big department stores there. So I believe that today when you're staying in Amber Road, you're walking distance to the beach, you're walking distance to the MRT, and you're also walking distance to your grocery shopping area. What can you ask for? Follow on to the video, because we are not only just going to give you and show you where the location, the amenities are, we're going to dive in deeper with data analysis based on the research. Alright, so we are going to do some comparison between these nearby resale transactions, also the new launches that has recently been launched in District 15. How do they actually stack up to this unit at Coastline in terms of price point, and how are we able to benefit from a homeowner perspective? Even after we purchase this, are there still room for growth in this unit? So we're going to do a deep dive of data research, data analysis to present to you. So you must continue to watch on to this video, because we have a lot of more information to share with you later. So later on, I'll see you back in the studio for our deep dive analysis. Cheers. Well, for freehold near East Coast, many of you might be thinking, wow, it's confirmed very expensive. Are there still any upsides? So in this video, we're going to dive into these details. So what if I told you that in this current market, there is this property in D15 that is freehold and that is undervalued still?
you want to continue to watch this video so that we can dive in deeper into the research and the numbers. And this video is not just about talk. I'm going to show you why using research data and numbers to dive in deeper into understanding the location in terms of the stats, as well as how this property is going to perform in the near future. We're going to do comparison in terms of surrounding price gaps, as well as how it stacks up in terms of prices among the other new launches nearby. So don't forget to like, subscribe this video and channel so that we can continue to churn out more in-depth understanding and technical analysis of various projects for you in this community. So there are some certain common objections regarding this property that we commonly, maybe you yourself also have come across, and we want to address them step by step. Maybe some of you will find that, oh, this is just a very small development, so there's no much hype. And also maybe some of you may be thinking, hey, the layout is actually not so ideal for families. Some of you maybe say that the developer is not a big player in the marketplace, so I'm also very concerned of the quality and how the structures of the building is like. Maybe some of you would also think about like, oh, for this kind of property type, there's limited facilities. And to be honest, I totally agree with you. These are all the facts that's been laid out for this property. But while it may not suit you, do you agree that there will be also somebody else who actually prefer this kind of status for a property? So maybe you can also share this with somebody who actually want to consider such an exclusive, private kind of setting. And after a hard day's work, maybe after office hours in the CBD or even Shenton Way area, they want to come back to a very calm, peaceful, relaxed environment for them to continue their day and to rest over the weekend. Alright, so this project is really, is really suitable for those who treasure their privacy, and you have the space to yourself. You do not need to, rush to the swimming pool or even the gym, and every weekend when you are there, it's so packed with people running around, moving around. And when you come back to a place where it's more quiet, it's more relaxed, it also sets your tone better for you to perform based on not just your work, but also your lifestyle. But of course, if you're looking for bustling crowd and you want a lot of people moving up and down, you like that kind of environment, then this project might not be the best for you. So stay tuned and watch out as we are going to dive in deeper into why this project in D15 is considered undervalued and it could be your dream home. And so here's what the data will tell us, and let's take a look. So if you can see from here, I'm actually doing a full PSF comparison, including all the POP properties around the project. And if you can take a look, the mass market, which is the OCR new launch average prices, is already commanding about $2,100 per square foot on average. And they all TOP around 2025. So that gave us a good gauge. And if you talk about some of the properties that is nearer to the west side, which is in the Bukit Panjang, the Mist, their mass market property has already transacted over $2,000 per square foot, as you can see. So of course, this is a brand new project and it will only be TOP in 2027. So including OCR, we have the recent Chuan Park, which is getting a lot of noise about how the property was being sold very effectively over the first launch. And their prices, can you imagine, it has already crossed $2,600 per square foot. So of course, being the new property, this project has its upside where it's near to the MRT, and that's why it's also attracting a lot of property buyers or owners who are staying nearby in the landed zones to buy Chuan Park. And just take note that the Mist as well as Chuan Park are all leasehold properties. So what we are trying to achieve here is to allow us to do some comparison of prices that is around the region to soak in how the PSF value has changed over the years, whether it's a resale property as well as a new property, and we need to study that in depth. So if we come back into the D15 zone, which is in RCR, we also want to do some comparison with the nearby leasehold property first. So Tembusu Grand, as you can understand, is a leasehold property and it has already been transacted close to $2,400 per square foot. And based on the construction, we should be expecting it to be ready at the end of 2025 or even early 2026 based on the construction period that we are seeing. So a leasehold property in the east side. So now we zone in into east side, which is along the Katong area, is already crossing $2,400 per square foot. Whereas Grand Dunman technically is also in the Dakota zone, this being a new launch that will only TOP in 2027 or 2028, has already crossing $2,500 per square foot. And the other new 99 years condo, there is Emerald of Katong, which is also sold over 90% over the first launch period, has already crossed the $2,600 per square foot. And these three, the big boys, are all the leasehold properties. And because we are looking at D15 freehold, we have to do comparison with the rest of the freehold properties within the east side area. And the first one that will be on top of the mind, of course, the Continuum. So Continuum is the only land that was sold in 2023, 2024 period, even until now in 2025. That is the only freehold among the rest of the launches. So be it whether it's Tembusu Grand, Grand Dunman, or even Emerald of Katong, they are all leasehold properties. And Continuum is the only freehold property. And if you can see from prices, they have already crossing average about $2,800 per square foot, and they were going to be TOP around 2027. So this you can take a look at for all the new properties that is being launched. Of course, there is always a certain premium that we see in freehold properties. If you can take a look that although the rest of the properties are launched much later, but there is still a certain price gap that we can see here, okay, of a difference of a premium of freehold. So in a nutshell, for any freehold properties out there, there will always be a certain premium. But the question is, how much premium then we can justify that it's worth to buy a freehold property that is for legacy planning, or you can actually support it in the longer term without worrying about lease decay. So we're going to study that a little bit. And now coming back into the Amber Park area is, we also need to be very careful about where the prices are heading to for the freehold. So Nyon, of course, this is a 2022 TOP project. It has really crossed $2,750 per square foot, being a freehold property. And of course, we have the Coastline that is crossing about $2,800 per square foot, being a younger property, and they have just TOP in 2023-2024 period. Of course, we cannot run away from seeing the newly Amber Park property, which they have overtook their previous Amber Park using the same name, but they redeveloped it into the new concept of Amber Park. And this also being a freehold property is a bigger development. They are crossing the $2,868 per square foot. So this project, of course, you are talking about a sheer number of units more than even Nyon or even Coastline. So the audience group is very, very different. Even when you're visiting the entire project itself, you can see a distinctive difference between the bigger projects and the smaller developments when you do comparison side by side. Not forgetting the recent launch that is very big in the news, where is Arena East, which is in Tanjong Rhu area. You can see that the prices already crossing close to over $2,900 per square foot. So this is a very important aspect that we need to understand, because when the new launches for Arena East has really close to $3,000 per square foot, you know, there is such a big gap in terms of the price point. And for this area versus the Amber area, you know, where will you want to look into in terms of your own stay or even for investment? Last but not least, we also want to take a look at Mayor Blue. Recently, they have already crossed the $3,000 per square foot. So today, if you are buying the properties here at the east side, you need to also understand a little bit more. Like today, if I'm buying Coastline, which is a freehold, all right, yes, we understand that it may be 100 over units, and some of the buyers or even investors may have some concerns, but we are really targeting different groups of audience base, very different. And being a freehold property that has just been TOP'd and everything is still very new, and this is going in terms of the comparison, as you can see, we're actually getting a freehold property at a leasehold price, and that's your first upside window. And we're going to dive in deeper into how we take a look at how these numbers are going to affect us in the near future as well. So here I want to dive in deeper into this project Coastline, which is a freehold in this 15 in the Amber area. And I want to start looking into how this property is like in terms of the site plan. So of course, this has been a more premium location, and we are looking at a very convenient, very private location. And this has been 2 blocks. So we're going to dive in deep into the 2-bed 2-bath. And this is the reason why, because this unit is a 2-bed 2-bath and the stack basically is at 0.2. All right. So you can see that the 2-bedroom are all facing this area. And for Coastline, there is not only just the 2-bedroom. Later on, we will study a little bit more into it. There's 710 square feet. They have the bigger one, which is also O3, right, which is a corner unit. The interesting part about these two layouts is that they somehow, it's also a dumbbell concept, but the way that their configuration is a little bit different. And we're going to look into it a little bit more details. So let me just touch on a little bit of the facilities. So you have a very good, nice drop-off area here, and going this direction is actually to the car park. Okay, so they are basically very nicely laid out area, and I believe if you're staying in an amber area, you want to come back with a very nice, welcoming drop-off area. And the car parks are all basement, which is definitely good. The first thing that it will actually strike you when you're visiting the area is that they have a very nice L-shaped pool, which is like a lagoon. And over the weekend, whenever I visit, I will always find that this area is a very nice, calming, exclusive location where you can just enjoy your sunbathing, enjoy your reading of a book in this lagoon. So they have a lot of facilities actually decked up, be it it's a barbecue area, a dining pavilion, and they have a lot of the sun decks out there for you to relax. And this area is also the outdoor kind of water therapy gym that you can also make use of. So all in all, when you step into Coastline, you can feel that this is not just a property that you stay. It's very lifestyle-like and luxury enough for you to almost a feeling that you are going into open area where they add on the landscaping as well as the pool area for you to relax, just like a hotel concept. So I really love the ground area where they have decked up all the very nice luxury greens as well as the pool to let you relax over day's work. So they have basically everything that you have in this development. So this is only the first part, and the most interesting part that you enjoy in Coastline is none other than the rooftop. Okay, the rooftop, which is on the 21st floor, right? Not only you have a very lagoon-like pool on the first floor, on the 21st story, you have the infinity pool. Okay, you have the infinity pool, and this actually see out all the way to the Kallang Sports Hub area, all the way to downtown, which means that over a rooftop area, you get to enjoy lifestyle, you get to enjoy fireworks, and of course, not forgetting the $1 million night view that you get to enjoy. So the infinity pool is really something that is very luxurious, and they have decked it up very nicely. So they also have a corner on the rooftop where it's a round sofa sitting where you can have friends over for drinks and you can chit chat over it and relax it over not only just the view of the Kallang Sports Hub, but at the same time, so you also get to see the sea view on the left side of the building. So this is how the entire area is like. So if you can see where the sofa area here, so the sea view is actually here, and you have the Kallang view here, right? Kallang Sports Hub view, and these are all unblocked totally, and it is a tremendous $1 million view. So here you get actually 2 million, 1 million from the Kallang view and 1 million for the sea view. So this is definitely something a lot of developments do not provide. And you also have your sky dining area that you can house your guests. And you can check out the video that we have actually show you how the sky terrace is like. And this is one of the selling point and very interesting part about this project. So let's us move on to the data to take a look like, okay, what are the details about this property so that we can find out more. So what we're going to do is to dive in deeper into the coastline, and let us take a look. So we have the coastline, and these are all live data that we are generating to allow you to see an overview of what this project is about. So for Coastline Residences, they have POP in 2022 and is in the District 15 RCR region. So this property is sitting on the land close to 239,000 size, and the total number of units is actually 144. So from here, we can take a look at the residential analysis step. The majority of the buyers are still the PR and the Singaporeans. And this is a very good effect because when there's a lot of Singaporeans, which means we're talking about more transaction volumes versus how the foreigners are going to be selling their property. So on average, of course, there's a range of 1 to 5 bedroom units, which we have all the available units. But today, we're going to dive in deep into the 2-bed, 2-bath units that is ranging from a minimum size of 710 to the 2-bed with study, as well as the bigger 2-bed unit, which is a 721. Looking at this, I want to just do a very quick comparison in terms of prices. Okay, so if you can see today, based on the recent 2-bedroom sales and transactions, you can take a look that we have filtered it off, and the 2-bed units that ranging whether it's a 721 square feet or even 743 square feet, which is the 2+ study, they are ranging from 1.98 million onwards all the way to 2.1 to even 2.2 million. So the average per square foot already has crossed 3,000 per square foot for the 721 square feet unit. So this also gives us an average. If you can see from the top view, the average per square foot is already close to $3,000 per square foot. So this is something that we really need to dive in deeper to understand how has this property been performing over the couple of years, and versus your neighbor, which is Amber Park. How do we perform? So let us look into the next data comparison so you have a better understanding. So next, we want to dive in deeper into seeing the comparison between Coastline as well as the next neighbor, which is also equally new because both of them are launched and also sold about the same time, and their TOP dates are also very, very similar, and that's none other than Amber Park. So for here, what we will do is we will go into our pro trend to do a comparison chart on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just search for Coastline. In this example, we just want to use a general average trends of how Coastline is to compare to Amber Park. So we will be able to look at it that from here, the average per square foot is 2,500 plus per square foot, as well as the minimum and maximum per square foot here. So looking at here, we will basically just plot this in, and we are going to see a certain trend that we can look into. We're going to just choose the yearly, and if you can see here, the range of prices from the start of the launch all the way to the current price point, you have a very good estimate. And now let's plot in Amber Park to do a comparison side by side. The reason why we want to do this is also so that we can have a very good indication to say that, hey, today are we looking at Amber Park as a competition, as a competitor, or are the both properties, be it whether in terms of their size, are going to make a difference in terms of our margin of growth. So a lot of misconception that we always get from a lot of homeowners is, yes, no doubt, sometimes we always find that having a bigger developments, there will be more transaction volume, which is true to some extent, but in a very unique area like D15, is this going to be the case? So let's study deeper into this. So if you can see, now we have side by side, the blue color one is Coastline Residences, as well as the red color line is the Amber Park area. So if we can just easily just plot out for the Amber Park, which is red color, towards until 2025 current data, we can see how much growth it has already went through in the past couple of years, all right, which is 20.39%. But where else in Coastline, even though it may be a smaller development with 144 units, let us take a look at whether the performance has any differences, or is the performance really drastically compared to Amber Park is going to be lower. So let us take a look. All right, so you can see that, yes, no doubt the smaller developments in comparison to Amber Park, Coastline Residences is underperforming by about 4%. So that is where we are seeing that the difference between a bigger development as well as a smaller development, there may be still some difference in terms of the percentage growth. So this is what a lot of homeowners will get misinterpreted. So my role is really to let you see that even though with this 4% gap, let me share with you what is happening also on the other side, that today, if you intend to buy Amber Park because of this reason, you are also paying almost 4% extra premium because of the sheer size. So this comes back to equates that actually with this additional 4% that you are paying on top of the average prices, will Amber Park still make sense for you to enter to get the same growth potential or even higher growth potential? Or in this case, even for Coastline Residences, being an undervalued property, you are actually entering at a lower cost and your margin for growth is almost the same, right? So this is a very important factor why we use data and numbers to let us deeper study how prices and trends are going to affect our decision making. So one aspect that we also need to consider is to dive in deeper to understand how Coastline matches up to the surrounding properties, and is this really a freehold D15 property that is undervalued? So let's dive into the numbers again. So just now we have roughly see how the prices has been, but I just want to give you an indication that a lot of times we have the misconception that 100 over units development may not be such a good purchase because there is not enough transactions. But that is not the case for a very rare D15 properties, especially in Amber Road, which is a prime district. And with the new MRT that just came out for the Thomson East Coast Line, which is just 2 minutes to 3 minutes walking distance, you can actually head into the MRT. That is the reason why we are seeing the transaction volumes very healthy the moment when they TOP. So let us take a look again in the numbers to specifically just look at the 2-bedroom. Right, let's just look at the 2-bedroom unit. Right, so here you can see that today, based on the numbers, we are seeing that on average, we are already crossing the 3,000, or should I say averagely about close to $3,000 per square foot prices. And today, what if you have an opportunity to go back in time to buy a price that is still hovering about 2,700 plus per square foot to $2,800 per square foot for a 2-bedroom unit freehold Amber Park, which is Dumbbell layout? Would it be a wise choice for you to explore into this possibility? Because, why is it so? So because when we are looking at this, if you take a look at the nearby properties here, you can take a look that Coastline Residences is one of the youngest property that's TOP in 2022. And the average price range already starting only just from 1.98 million. If you compare it to the next one, which is 11 Amber Road, that is a 2004 TOP, and their prices on average has already go above 2.4 million. So this is also giving you a good indication that we can see that why is it that a younger, newer development like Coastline Residences outperform a lot of the other properties in terms of pricing. So here you can also see for Amber Sky, all right, which is a freehold property, their prices already starting from 2.29 million onwards all the way. And not only that, we are also seeing that their prices nearby is only continuing to climb based on the chart that previously you have seen, where the OCR properties are already crossing the $2,600 per square foot average. And also the leasehold in the Katong area, which is Emerald of Katong, Tembusu Grand, Grand Dunman, they are crossing the $2,400, $2,500 to $2,600 per square foot. So today, if you are able to own a freehold development that is walking distance to the MRT and within the $2,700 to $2,008 per square foot, will you find that this property, you can actually hold it for legacy planning and hold it longer and not worry about lease decay in the future? So now what we want to do is we want to dive deeper to take a look at the 2-bed, 2-bath comparison around the different locations and to see how the data actually spells out for us. So from here, from a pricing perspective, we are comparing Coastline to the D15 as well as the mass market, which is OCR. And we also want to pull in some new developments to compare side by side. So here you can see the Mist, which is a Bukit Panjang area, their per square foot average has already crossing the 2,000 per square foot. And as well as Chuan Park, which is recently just sold, they are already transacted. And these are all transacted prices at $2,600 per square foot. Being the Grand Dunman, Tembusu Grand, which are leasehold properties, we need to very be careful in terms of the prices because they are leasehold properties. They are hovering crossing the $2,400 to $2,500 per square foot, and they are the 2-bed plus study configuration. And if we do a direct comparable to a younger, latest new property that is going to be TOP in a couple of years, which is the Continuum. And this is just a 2-bedroom unit, which the prices has already crossing $2,750 per square foot. And this is what buyers are accepting, that this is a property price that they should pay for a new development that is freehold. Of course, from the recent news where Arena East has been sold, people are accepting the fact that freehold property in a prime location should cross above $2,900 per square foot. Even for Mayor Blue, that is crossing $3,000 per square foot. And for a resale, sub-sale property that is Amber Park, which is the closest to Coastline, people are already accepting it close to $2,900 per square foot. So if we do a comparison and I pull out the latest 3 developments that are 3 project units that transacted in Coastline based on the floor level, they're all hovering about the $2,700 per square foot. So what if today you are able to get back the same prices for this development in Coastline, but you are on a higher floor? What would it make a difference for you to pay the same price, but you get a premium in terms of a higher floor? Will that help you in terms of your investment? Will it help you in terms of your growth potential in future? And most importantly, are you able to hold on to this property longer term for legacy planning, as well as to support the lease decay situation, which a lot of homeowners are very concerned about? So I want to give you guys a glimpse about where Coastline Residences is by having an understanding of where the location is. So let us take a look from a Google Earth perspective. All right, you can see that in the center where the red mark is, that's where Coastline Residences is. From here, you can really see where the position of Coastline Residences are. To the right side that you can see right now is all the way to the landed property view. So this property, one of the uniqueness is that you have totally unblocked view where it faces the landed, and that's where the direction to Kallang Riverside, the Kallang Leisure Park, as well as your CBD area is. So this line of sight that you can enjoy is something we call money also cannot buy. All right, in this situation. Of course, you have your pool, the sea view on your left side for Coastline Residences. But I also want to draw your attention to where this location is, because we are in a very convenient location, especially right now with the MRT that's just been built, which is the Thomson East Coast Line. So if you can see the line of sight, there is this one station across that is the TE25, which is Tanjong Katong, okay, Tanjong Katong Station. But of course, from here, let me just turn this around to let you see, that is just across the road. But this across the road is just one of the entrance. There is one entrance that is along the same exit and entrance of the Amber Road itself. So I'm going to put ourselves into the map right now so we can walk it through where Coastline generally is. All right, so let us take a look where Coastline is. Let us just move forward. All right, so this is Coastline. Let's take a look. So you can see that the Coastline has already been built. It's already TOP. That's why even if you're looking for an immediate rental approach, you can actually use this property for your investment. So this is on a very nice two-way road, which is very less traveled. All right, so this is a small road just to function for the residents in this location. And you have a very nicely tower that has already been done up. And one of the key things is that today, how short are we talking about when you want to walk to the new MRT on this direction? Let us take a look. So if we just move forward, and this is where the main road to the highway is. All right, so you walk past your Amber Sky as well as your Amber Point, and it's a very short walk here. So even when you're driving down from Tanjong Katong Road, you can just turn in from this lane in towards your unit, and you can go out from here to either go to the Changi Airport area. So everything is actually very convenient. So if you can see right here, now you can start seeing the Tanjong Katong station, which is opposite. Of course, you won't be able to cross across to the other side of the thing. So the best part is that you go turn right. Okay, you turn right and you can see where the station is just on the right side of Coastline. And it's all within walking distance, and you are able to get down into the Thomson East Coast Line for your accessibility. See, this is how near it is. All right, so Tanjong Katong MRT, and that is why today, if you are looking to stay or even using this as a form of investment, with the Thomson East Coast Line here, is really a very good plus point that you can have for your property. All right, so let us move on to the next segment. Now I want to start talking about something that we use a lot in our consultations and for our clients. It's called the profit logic. All right, so what does this profit logic stands for? And let me share with you how it works. So today, if we look at pricing, we will have to start seeing it from a different perspective. So let's say if today you are buying Coastline and you then hold it for the next 5 years, how is the math going to be? So today, we all already acknowledge that for the OCR prices, a lot of the properties are already within the $2,200 per square foot onwards, all the way to 2006 that we have seen in Chuan Park. So let us take an average, maybe about $2,400, $2,500 per square foot, which is kind of a OCR benchmark at the moment. So if you can see, this is a OCR. Okay, OCR, averagely maybe about $2,500 per square foot. All right, so this is more of a guide. And if today they are going to buy at 2005, how much are they going to sell in future for at least for Chuan Park in the next 3 years after it's been completed? They will have to sell higher. And potentially, do you think that they will be able to sell it at about $2,700 or even $2,800 per square foot based on the location that is near the MRT? So let us just give an assumption that perhaps they will want to sell at $2,700 per square foot. For OCR, new benchmark prices is going to be $2,700 per square foot as an estimate. So today, if we are starting to see for our leasehold properties that is in D15, they are already transacted. Okay, people already purchased them at $2,500 to even $2,600 per square foot. And that's the reason why today, if let's just change the color. So if today we are seeing them and already transacting close to $2,600 to even $2,700 per square foot average. And these are all the what? D15 RCR, 99 years. Okay, they're all 99 years property. So you can see that there's a certain benchmark prices, and today, if you're starting to look at using our profit logic as a guide to help you in your decision making, this is very useful. And if we start zoning into D15 freehold properties, they are averagely costing around how much? Let's take a look. They are at least $2,008 to even $2,900 per square foot for Arena East. So this is the situation where the prices for D15 freehold are at least, okay, $2,008 to $2,009 per square foot. Okay, so moving forward, we are only seeing prices climbing, and with Arena East already crossing $2,900 per square foot. Have you ever asked yourself how much will they need to sell in the future? So easily we are talking about, if you are looking at a property in such a prime location, you're spending close to $2 million or even more than $2 million. So you want to actually increase your margin at least by $300,000 for your potential upside. And the best part is, today if you're looking at Coastline Residences, you're actually entering at what kind of prices? Averagely about, this is a D15 freehold price, which is average about $2,700 per square foot, which is equivalent to an OCR leasehold property price. So can you see why today I'm so excited to share with you about this undervalued property? And what this helps us as homeowners, or whether you're an investor, is the moment we are able to enter a price that is lower than others, we have lesser risk. Okay, my role is to help you lower down your risk as much as possible. Not to say no risk, there's nothing no risk, but lower down your risk. And then this way we have more flexibility to see how we are able to exit the property in time to come. So this is a very important part, because today you are just not a mass market investor chasing here and there. You know, you want something that is considering as a smart move. And even though it's boutique 100 over 40 units, I don't even call it. This is not, of course, not a mass market property type. And if you're somebody who's smart and you're looking for a very lifestyle, very exclusive kind of development, and most importantly, based on the data and numbers, you have full clarity and you know when your exit is going to be, I think this will help you a lot. All right, so based on this, if you find that this coastline property angle interests you, all right, you can DM me the word coastline, and I'll send you more information about how this property is able to personalize to your own property journey and property timeline. And we can do a full comparison with the numbers, your financials, everything in place to see how this works out for you and to see whether it can align with your objective and goals. All right, so with that, if you have any questions regarding this project, or if you need any personalized advice in terms of a property journey, do also DM me inside the comment, and we will see how you can move forward with your own plans. Because now this coastline D15 unit is a overlooked property, because everybody is looking at somewhere else, but this is an overlooked project that you don't want to miss. All right, I see you guys in some way or another. Cheers.